Hello, folks.
What are you move? What are
Hey,
you
Bella.
moving? A rhinoceros? Why didn't you come up on the panel and talk to Duke just now?
I didn't want to interrupt your beautiful conversation.
Yeah, right. You love to interrupt people's conversation. Get out of town. I
All
was
right,
actually
folks.
gonna just open up a live, but then you've beat me to it, so I
Okay,
came to yours.
thank you for the respect, Bella. Let's welcome our next guest. Our next guest, her voice is so soothing. She's just a
Oh,
gold-hearted
God.
girl. She's just a gold-hearted girl. She wants to leave her mark on this planet, and she does a great job. Everywhere she goes, everybody loves her. Let's welcome the legendary Queen Bella Forever.
Legendary. Wow.
What up, Bird Brain?
What up? Talking to Duke. Duke's back. Duke's back, man. He's back. I was just
Where'd he
talking to
go?
Duke for a bit.
Where'd he
He was
go?
in London, so he's back in the States, eh?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you talking about your animals there. So you don't like people jumping on the bed with you, eh?
And the two birds. No, we were talking about important stuff before you came in. We're talking about real shit.
Yeah,
Real
I know.
shit.
I know you hate small talk, but I know. But
We're
I'm a
talking
little
about
lonely.
birds. We're talking about stuff.
Yeah,
Structured stuff. When
good.
Duke first started and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to talk about structured stuff, but at the right now, I'm gonna start it off with a little small talk, just because I miss you, and
Sure.
I'm real lonely, so I need a friend. So let's talk about your birds for just a second here.
Really?
I said I needed friends, so let's talk about your birds for just a second, so we could just have a little normal chit chat.
My birds are fine. I fed them. I had to clean the whole cage out. It was a lot of work because it was overdue.
Yeah.
They do require maintenance. You can't have lots of air fresheners and stuff in the house because they're birds, right? They could die if it's too perfumey or
Mm.
high scents. So when you clean them, you have to feed them every day. They do require work. You have to keep the cage clean, and you have to make sure they eat and they have clean water. So there's two in one cage.
Do they like
Budgies.
you?
One's an idiot. He's totally dumb. I think it's the girl.
Really?
She's really a bully to the other one. Yeah.
What do you mean,
So,
bully?
but they get along. Well, there's two birds in one cage. One's always, uh, sometimes they get along fine, but these two, the one I had before that died a couple years ago, that one was by himself because he couldn't get along with these two. So I had
Mm.
two cages, but he
What
died.
happens?
The
What
birds,
happens when they don't get along?
one
Do they start fighting with each other, like physically fighting, or? Oh, Bella, I think we lost Bella here. Bella went quiet.
bully me.
Oh, here you
You got me?
go. Yeah.
Oh,
So what happens
sorry.
when they get mad at each other? Do they start pecking at each other?
They could fight each other, but these two don't fight. They just like the
Cry.
green one will eat fur.
Oh, Bella, you're. I don't know what's going on with your mic.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Well, what's going on? Why do you keep cutting out?
It's not me, it's the fucking app. Duke couldn't talk either.
Really? Wow. So that's good. That's good. What? Let me ask you this: what was your need for a pet? Like you felt you needed a companionship?
I don't want to answer that. I'm eating cereal right now.
You're eating cereal. You come on my show to eat cereal?
Sure, why not?
Wow, we're supposed to be talking about very important stuff, and you're sitting there stuff on your face.
You just said you didn't want to talk about important stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So I get.
Make up your mind. Make up your fucking mind. We're
Well, that's
talking.
cool. That's cool. I'm getting to know you. I didn't know you were a bird girl, a little bird bath girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't have any pets, but I want
You
a
don't need a
pet.
pet, Rico. You are a pet.
I'm
You don't
my
need a
own
pet.
pet.
I take care of yourself.
Yeah, I
So
think it's fat.
I've been hearing you've been drinking a lot.
No, I haven't drank in 20 days. Not a single sip.
So where you been? People have been saying, "Where's Rico?"
I've been. Do you know? I actually podcast more when I drink. That's why I podcast every day when I drink, because it's easier for me to talk when I'm drinking.
Why?
My ideas are more flowing. It's kind of fucked up when I'm sober. My brain kind of goes dull. It's when I'm on drugs and drinking, I'm like a super smart guy. Yeah, I don't get it.
This app has turned to shit. I'm sorry. It's
But
turned
why do
to
you think
shit.
that is? Why do you think that when I drink I get creative and when I don't?
I don't know. You
Or
need to answer that question. You're the
it's
one who's
fun.
drinking.
Yeah.
Not me.
Well, no, I haven't been drinking. I want to drink really bad, but I'm in the middle of my 30-day break. I'm 66% done. 20 days passed, and it fucking sucks. But it's good.
Let's bring Nick B up on the show. Gotta ask him some questions.
Yeah. Where's he at? Hit him up.
Hit him up, man.
I don't know where to hit. I don't have him. I don't have him on socials. Do you have him?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you this. I do feel physically better since I quit drinking 20 days ago. I lost 10
Good.
pounds. I lost 10 pounds in weight.
Good, man. Yep.
And I just mentally, I don't feel like, I feel good, but not like, I don't know. I feel good. It took me, I don't even want to go back to drinking how I was. That's the problem. When I, at the end of that 30 days, I don't want to go back to drinking every day.
Can you hear me, Rico?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, my
I
sweet.
I shared your show on my Discord, so I shared it with Nick. Let's see if
Well,
he'll pass through.
All right. Well, I was gonna end the show, but since you're actually giving me some companionship here, I'm gonna keep the show going.
Why will you end the show? You just started.
I know, but see, I was already ready to fucking do something else.
Do what?
Do what?
The ma.
The monster
That's a
mash.
saying. No, it's gonna rain here, thunderstorms. No, stay on, man. I was gonna do one, but I wasn't really gonna do one, so I'd rather just co-host, like just stay here.
All right. Well, the reason I was gonna not do one is because I was gonna charge my phone, and because the mic I'm using, which I sound great on, I hope.
You want me to open one, or you want to come to mine?
No, I'll run one for a minute, baby girl.
All right. Just put the charger in the thing and go. I can open one. You can come to mine.
Yeah. Whenever I'm ready. Let's what was I just saying though right before you said that? Oh yeah, because like I want to keep losing weight and doing that, but I don't know. I think it comes like that. A good podcaster is very consistent. I know I'm not the most consistent, like dropping a show every week, but I feel like as long as you don't give up completely, you can go like Duke James and be quiet for a while, then come back, go quiet for a while. I just got to come back with some strong content. Soon here.
That's what we were talking about this morning. I've run out of content, but I could be back. I'll leave it to the mystery of building a mystery, like the song.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that.
I just don't like the whitewash on here, the bullshit. That's the main reason I don't want to be on here.
Yeah, what do you mean by whitewash?
Too much gabbing and gossiping and shit talking and banning and this and that and stabbing. That's why I want to get Nick on here, because Nick has a lot to say, but he doesn't talk.
Really? Yeah, Nick's a fascinating guy. Fascinating.
Very fascinating creature, isn't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Very fascinating creature. You know me, Rico. I can check people out real fast.
Well, let me tell you a little bit of philosophy that I've been thinking about lately, and so this is one of those things I've been thinking about, and it's kind of fun, and it's kind of fun for us and kind of not fun. Some philosophies are real fun for us alive, and some are not so fun. This one I would put in the category of 50-50.
There he is in the bottom. There he is.
Nick B, I'm talking about a philosophy of.
You're talking about your ma. I'm talking about your ma.
I'm talking about his mother. Rest in peace.
Your ma. Come up here, Nick. We gotta talk to you. Don't worry.
I'm talking about his man. That's funny. You're funny, Bella. Bella's really
being funny today. Funny today.
I like it. Actually really, and I'm enjoying it. Like, I don't see this side that
your
often, but it's making me go crazy here.
But it's a funny way of not like disrespecting somebody, but you're saying your ma. You know, your ma. It's an Irish term. Your ma.
Your mama.
Your mama.
Your mama. Mama. All right. So the
This is the
philosophy,
silly show, guys, brought to you by Rico, Rox, and Bella. We're being silly today.
Mama, please.
Mama.
I'm actually just. There's a picture I keep of my mom. I have one picture in my house, and it's a picture of my mom.
That's okay, Nick. Come up. We got that. I gotta ask you a question, but I need a witness. Come up, Nick. Just 2 minutes, and you can drive.
Yeah, come on, Nick B. Just don't get in a car crash.
Don't crash your car. He doesn't. He drives and talks on his phone and all that. Hey, Nick B. What's up?
Hold on.
Nothing.
Nick B. Hey, Nick B. I know. Hold on, you guys. Did you guys hear that? Nick B is driving. Oh shit, he's Hold on, Nick B. You should podcast and drive. Oh shit, I think he just missed his turn.
Jesus Christ.
What the hell, Nick B? Are you alright? Oh no. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Really? Honestly?
Nick B, are you okay?
He's dead. We killed him.
I'm done.
My goodness, Nick B, I told you to pull over to the side of the road.
Next time I'll listen.
Oh, well, he's still
What's
good
up,
enough
Nick
to talk.
B? Nick B, what's up?
Nick baby.
Nothing. What's going on?
Nothing. We're just here to bully you today.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's up,
Me and Rico had a
Baldy?
plan.
What's up, Baldy? Do you get how many channels you get on that antenna?
3.
Off that shiny saucer?
Yeah, only 3.
Really? Channel 69, 420?
Yeah.
Rico, do you love Nick
I do love Nick. I do love Nick. I love you, Nick.
more than me?
I love you too, Bella.
No. That's fucked up. Come on, man. You know me longer. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, me and you. But remember that time that that we had a falling out? So I never forgave you for that.
You're lying. You did forgive me. What falling out?
I'm just kidding.
Which one? Who likes me more than you? He likes me more than you. He told me that several times.
No, I do like Bella a lot. I like Nick B a lot too. I like Nick B too.
I'm his favorite. I'm his favorite.
I don't want to pick favorites because you too. It's But no. So do you want to ask Nick B a question?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to talk
Nick
about
B.
this?
Yeah.
Nick.
Yes.
I don't want you to feel bad that we don't talk much anymore, but it's no hard feelings. It's just sometimes I don't want to talk to people. That's all. But I don't have any resentment or stuff, so you shouldn't feel that way.
I didn't say I did. I don't understand why, but that's okay.
Well, you keep hitting me up in the back chats, DMs and stuff. So I just want to let you know, I don't you don't have to sometimes I don't see Rico for weeks, but then when I do see Rico, we talk. I don't have anything against Rico. I don't have to talk to Rico, but
Yes,
I do talk to Rico. Yeah, I do talk to Rico. So is there something that I did to you that you feel mad about?
I just want to know why you were blocking me.
You know why? Because you don't listen.
Oh.
The things I tell you. I give you good advice as a friend, and you just do the opposite. And then you get... Rico, shush, Jesus. Then you go in shows, and you get disrespected because I tell you to stay out of those shows. And then I can't come to your rescue like Superwoman all the time. So, I can only say so much. And you can ask Rico. He's been in this arena a long time. He knows how it goes. You just stay out of those shows. That's just how it is. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I pop in because I try to be social, so I pop in, but I don't stay long. I popped in outside a normal show for 1 minute earlier, but a minute was all I could take. But because I'm trying to just be social and show everyone support, but after if I get turned off, I gotta leave. If I get bored, I gotta leave, kind of stuff. Which is, I think that's the way it's supposed to be. I think you're supposed to give everyone a chance. because that's a good creative thing. Okay, go on in. But if it's not your bag of chips, then it's not your bag of chips.
Exactly.
Like I
You
was in
don't
some
know.
random show earlier, Joey to no avail. I don't know if you guys heard of him.
Yeah, that guy.
He's such a nice guy, man. He's such a nice guy. I was in the show, and he actually had me entertained for 20 minutes. He was reading campfire stories.
I get mixed up with him and Thunderlong.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Nick B, I didn't know that you guys were having a little bout, but let me just remind you, you guys are both awesome. I think you guys have great chemistry. Queen Bella Forever and Nick B are two podcasters here on live stream, and they both have such endearing energy to them. And I think they're a powerhouse team. I think they really do like each other. Not in a weird way, but I do think that they really do.
No. We're not on that vibe anymore. Nick's doing his own thing now.
Oh man.
We haven't done it. I haven't done a show and he hasn't done a show. In a while.
Damn, I'm in the middle of my dialogue and Bella just clears the air and she says, "No, folks, it is in
Rico
fact
too. Rico
it is
too.
it is in fact not sweet." So let me tell you guys about this philosophy, man, and I'm curious to get your take on this little theory here. So now I'll make it really simple instead of going on to like an hour-long confusing thing. So this is a theory.
Okay.
Life is about us only, like cherish each moment. You only live once. That idea where it's get the most out of your life, squeeze as much out of this one life because you only get one life, and very individualism kind of life, or this more generational thing where, oh, if you don't fulfill your dream, your child's child can fulfill that dream one day. Like just keep bloodline going, keep the bloodline going, keep the bloodline going. So that's basically the theory. It's to cherish the blood in your body or to pass responsibility to the bloodline. What do you guys think? Have kids or just really have more of an individual, selfish life and not think much about the generations to come?
Oh God, you make me think.
Well, I've had my kids,
What do
so I
you
guess
feel?
I passed it down.
But okay, so as far as like this thinking, what does that make you feel? Have you ever run into this existential kind of philosophy where it's, do you feel something that having kids pushed you into the future, or something like this? Like based on what I said, what are your thoughts on it based from a guy having kids and then like prior, because you've had a feeling and thoughts before and then now you have a feeling and thoughts and now after. How do you feel that it affected your overall existential footprint?
Well, when you have a kid, it changes your whole life anyways, because your kid becomes number one. So, right?
Well, that's an interesting thing. I think that's an interesting. If we want to talk about that, I think it does for some. I think some parents are like animals where it's like a animal in the wild. They have a kid, then they walk away. They have a kid, they walk away. Some mothers and dads have kids and let the system have them. Like, hey, fucking just whatever happens, happens, and they just never think about their kids again. They move on with their life. I think it's fascinating though, because you always hear this on Facebook and on Instagram, and you always see the comments on parents. Like, parents, once I have a kid, it was never the same. I love my kids. And you guys want to, when you hear somebody say their parent died, it makes you want to cry because you feel they're lost. And they're like, my mom died 6 years ago, and we used to hang out every Sunday. And you feel the pain in their voice, and you're like, damn, what a bond between a mother and a child. But then you hear some parents, and it's like, fuck, I have 6 kids, and I'm a deadbeat dad, and I haven't seen my kids in 20 years. I don't even know what state. I never know who their mom is. Da, 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 da. So I think it's fascinating that some parents, kids change their life, and some parents, they choose not to let it affect them. What do you think about that? What do you think about
I
parents who
agree.
don't give a fuck about kids? Why do you think that some parents didn't get the bug? That some parents, they had kids and they didn't feel that feeling? What happens to that feeling?
Well, I think most of them are really young kids or younger adults that weren't ready.
You think that? Okay, I never even thought about it like that. So you think it's more like, I'm gonna pay attention. I'm gonna start looking now, and I wonder if you pose as an interest, real thing that younger parents are gonna be more likely to be the ones that say, "Hey, I could live my life and I could push that guilt down. I could push that guilt down of not raising my kid or not investing in my own children." Where some parents, they feel like what you're saying, the opposite side of that, antithesis of that would be, that kid is my responsibility. Oh, that kid, everything for them. If they don't eat, I don't eat. And I love that. I'm not picking a side here, but I see both styles. And I wonder which one I would be, because that's the style. Like, oh, if my kids don't eat, I don't eat. And then there's some parents who are like, I'm going to eat no matter what. And I don't have kids, so I don't know for sure. And everyone wants to be the parent that'll be like, oh, I'm going to fucking fight for my kids and be there. Like, everyone on paper wants to be that parent. But it's interesting how some people turn out not to be. So you said that, Nick B, I know you're driving to work and everything, but I think it's fun to have you here. So I keep pestering here. So,
Go ahead.
yeah, so the theory I was thinking about was because life is like a timeline thing where if you're trying to understand and make life okay, for example, like some people, they feel if they die today, their life is not where they want it to be, or they're unhappy, and or they never accomplished their dreams, and this anxiety can start coming over people. Like they feel like it's too overwhelming, it's too much for them to understand. But then if there's a kid involved, then they think, oh, there's hope, because it puts the responsibility on the shoulders of the child. What do you think of that? Do you think that having kids took some responsibility off of you, as far as trying to figure it all out? Like, do you
No,
think?
no. Having a kid is a conscious decision. You have to make a conscious decision. And I would suggest if you have kids, because I have a kid,
Yeah.
I made a conscious decision to have a kid. But I will suggest if you're too young and you're not mentally or emotionally ready to have a child, please don't, because the person that will end up suffering the most is the child. It is a responsibility, is an obligation. So it was a conscious decision of mine, which I did in my 30s. I had my child when I knew I was ready to have a child. If that
What an
explains
interesting
it.
topic. Children is such an interesting topic. I think it could be. I mean,
Well,
a lot of
it has
people.
to be a conscious. It's not like you're just gonna have a kid. You have to make a decision. Have a good partner for support.
All right, I'm gonna ask a hot question here, just because it's a hot
Yeah.
question for you guys. What age is the perfect age to have a kid?
In your 30s, I would say, as a woman,
All right, Nick
when
B, what do you
you're
say?
established, when you're
Do you-
mature.
What do you
As a
think is the
woman, though,
age?
as a woman.
As a woman? Okay, what about as a man? What is about as a man, Bella? Okay, or Nick B, what do you think? And I know there's no right answer,
Okay.
but I want to piss people off with you guys' answers.
Yeah.
Because no matter who you answer, what you answer, you're gonna piss somebody off.
Well, yeah, the man should be ready too. Well, men really don't mature much at 30. Men take a longer time to mature. That's a proven fact.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick B, what do you think? What's the better age to have a kid?
He's the wrong person. He's the wrong person. He's been married 4 times. This is not a good analogy.
Okay, let him answer. Jesus.
If I could redo it, I would wait till 25.
Wow. So mid-20s.
At least mid-20s, yeah.
So you must have had a
That'd
kid.
be the
What?
earliest.
You had a kid earlier than 25.
Nick B must
So
have
my
had a kid.
oldest is 42.
What age did you have your first child?
16.
No, it was 17. My daughter.
Wow.
Wow, let's give Nick a round of applause for getting it in.
Shoo.
He knows how to. Nick B, my hero, dog. Nick B, once again, my hero, ladies and gentlemen. Nick B, he's such a monster in the sack. What can I say? There's nothing that he can't do, baby. Woo! The reason I asked you guys, though, it's not because
Was it okay? I have a question. Did you knock up the girl, or was it a mistake, or you were ready to have a child at 17?
What kind of question is that?
That's a valid question.
Is it a mistake? Jeez.
Was it a mistake? No, that happens. Nothing wrong with that.
I bet you he says no. Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, it wasn't a mistake. I guess at the time we thought we knew what we were doing.
If you do it all over again, you wouldn't have done it at 17, which is true, right?
Yeah. Right. I'd probably waited to 25 at least.
Why? Why
17,
is that?
Well, because at 18 here, at that time, I started drinking.
Oh no.
In
So that you
Colorado, you could drink at 18.
so you're just going crazy, man. He's knocking up chicks, getting drunk. Man, Nick B is living life, man. Nick B's living life. That's what I love about Nick
See,
Nick
the
B.
B
boy,
started young.
my boy I was 30 when he was born.
What did your
Wow.
parents think about you having a child at 17?
It wasn't much they could think. I mean, they supported me, but they did. I think that
They weren't
when you
having a
do have
party.
a kid, I think,
Let me ask you this: does
the
having a
way your
kid?
parents teach
Oh, go
you
ahead.
is how you go on with your kids sometimes, or a lot of times.
Yeah. So you were raised pretty good then. You say you were not abused and stuff like this, or were you born more old school, bend knee to the belt, like knee or not knee, bend over the knee, fucking a couple punches.
No, we never got abused. We got the belt, but
Nice.
I'd
we
be
weren't
disowned if I
abused.
had a child at 17. My culture.
Really?
Yep. It wasn't heard of. We
Let me
couldn't
ask you
do
this.
it. Yeah.
I'm gonna get back to this the philosophy that we're on, this whole existential pressure the philosophy. But let me just ask you one more small question, Queen Bell. What age did you use virginity, if you don't mind me asking?
The fuck kind of question is that? Sorry. It's a rated R, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck that. Pass.
All right. Okay. So let me ask Nick B. So,
Ask him. Ask him.
no, no, it's okay. I'll ask him later. So this is the thing, Nick B. When you had a kid, did that, because the thing what I'm talking about is a pressure of
Hmm.
life. Now I don't have a
It
kid.
changed my whole life.
Did it lessen the pressure? I feel like it would lessen the pressure of existential bloodline, because now you know, even if you fuck it up, if you fuck your life up, or if you don't fulfill your destiny, at least now you have your kids to fulfill that. I feel like it takes pressure off, because if you die as a single man with no kids, if
Hmm.
you pretty much are fucked. You're like, damn, that's it. That's the end of the story. That's the end of that story. So do you feel that? Do you understand? Do you feel that way too? That your story is going to be continued through your bloodline, or you don't think about it that way?
Well, they got their own stories.
But your blood, though, and
Yeah, but you have to
your
guide your children into the right directions.
Well, yeah, you do that when they're young. I mean, once they get so old, they're going to make their choices no matter what.
I do believe in free will, and I believe our every. If you're a free person, you can break away from traditions and you can break away from genetic. But I think that some people, there's like 80% of people in the that are born and live and die. I think that they're not free enough to break free from tradition and genetics and ancestral stuff. Just they fall into just because they don't think about it hard enough, and they don't make it a conscious effort to, like, I'm gonna live very away from all that influence. So most people just easily fall into that. I think 80%, and that influence is your genetic code, your ancestral demeanor, perhaps this kind of stuff that gets passed down. Because let's say that we've been around for 10 generations. Like, let's say our family bloodline started 10 people ago, and now I think I'm free enough. Nick B sounds free enough, and Bella sounds free enough. I think all three of us are pretty outlier when it comes to our mental freedom and our mental perception. But up to us, I think that if we look at Bella's parents, Nick B's parents, my parents, and then their parents, and we go back 5, 6 generations, I don't know what those people or who those people were, and if they were as free or had the opportunity to be as free based on the societal information. And so they fell into more traditional, more genetic, ancestral
What?
influence.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about, like, well, let's say 10 generations ago, if let's say that your great grandma was sitting there
Yeah.
stressed, she was stressed about life one day, and she was like, oh, where am I going to get my next meal? Or, oh, where am I going to live next winter? Because life is very unpredictable and the houses keep breaking apart. And let's say
Yeah.
they're broke. Like, then let's say your grandma 10 generations ago could have been like, what is life? Oh man, I wonder if one day I'm going to figure it all out. And like
Where are we going with this? How does that connect
no,
to us?
because we're also dealing with the same pressures. Like, oh, we're
No, you're
now,
not.
No, it's not. I
I,
disagree with that totally, 100%, even 200%.
really? Okay, because
No,
that's my point. Is
no,
this? I feel those pressures of I don't know how I'm going to survive next winter. I don't know where
no.
I'm going to get. Like I have to work very hard just to survive, and I feel
So
that.
what you're saying is, let me see, because that was just a very long bunch of stuff you said. Are you saying that we could be a product of our past generations in the way that we live our lives now?
Well, I'm saying potentially, but what I'm adding to that is to add to the thing we were talking before is that children aspect, because like let's say those people in the past didn't have kids, you wouldn't have to be worrying about your words today. So, so if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have kids, it's fine. That there's nobody's. But if you have kids, you're gonna have to pass on that torch of that pressure. Like, okay, you're alive now. You're gonna have to figure it out. So if you have no kids, then you pretty
Mm-hmm.
much are telling yourself, I'm not passing this torch. I'm gonna figure it out by myself, and if I don't, the torch ends with me. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, you also have to understand, like, you can't look at it just like you're looking at it kind of like black and white, but there's some people that cannot have kids. They want kids, but their body, their fertility rate, there's a whole bunch of things that can happen with that. But what I
I
will
think,
say
yeah,
is going back to my great grandmother and my grandmother, and I grew up with my grandmother. She had a very tough life. She had 15 kids.
my
She
goodness.
had 15 on my mom's side. She had 8 sisters and 4 brothers, right? Now, she did not have it easy. She grew up in a very strict household,
Hmm.
but that did not pass on to me. Obviously, not because I'm going to have 15 kids, but my parenting skills and
It's her
her parenting
paradigm.
skills,
It's her paradigm.
yeah, her paradigm did not stress me out growing up looking at her. Like, it didn't affect me mentally.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
I'm
what I'm
just trying
talking
to
about. I'm
say.
trying to talk about paradigms a bit when I'm bringing up this
Yeah, the
whole thing
paradigms.
because
So, so, so just to connect the dots, my grandmother and then seeing my mother, who had me and my other sibling, it's only 2 of us, it was in some households they're broken, some households are married for 35 years. Even if they are broken, at the end of it all, when you have your kids, the way you parent your kids doesn't have anything to do with how your parents or your parents' parents parented their kids. If that's what you're trying to get to, right?
yeah, I think definitely you answered that very good, and that's 100% agree as far as it doesn't have to translate like your parents stuff, but I think it can.
Yeah.
Do you think it can? Do you think that like there could
Yes,
be?
it can. It can because there's a lot of taboo, I would think, in the Latina cultures, because I have Latina friends. It is taboo in their culture to get separated in some cultures. It is taboo in the Indian culture to be separated. That's why they have arranged marriages. So that pressure of having to do something which is against your free will does affect the relationship. Is a lot of abuse in the relationship, and therefore if there's a lot of abuse in the relationship, the children don't come out very well.
Yeah, I think
So
I
I
think it's
think
fascinating.
culture can also affect children 100%. And so a lot of Indian friends that I have or Muslim friends, they don't want arranged marriages. They want to pick somebody totally different to their background. They want to set up families totally against the culture that they are required to follow. And they feel that way because they're being kind of forced into following an arranged marriage.
Right.
So yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
if
I'm
you
I'm
look at
that
it,
kind of guy.
you
I'm that
look
kind of
at it.
guy. I
Yeah.
ran
And
away
then if
from my
you,
culture. I
yeah,
think it's a lot of I stuck to that rebellion, that teenage rebellion.
yes,
All right, so
yeah,
but like, and these are all the topic is so broad as far as just like having kids. How do they make you feel? Oh, where do we come from? Like we could talk for out like years and years and years. But the initial philosophy I posed was this whole like passing the torch, throwing bloodline kind of thing, where
yes, it's important to me. It is important to me to pass my legacy on to my children and my children's children,
but
right?
now and let's add that to the context is how when let's the earth legacy and your legacy are two different things, because you could be doing your best to raise your kid and you could be raising them right and you have a good level, but then the world in the background could be falling apart, like politically, fucking new, like wars are breaking off, and it's like, oh, it's like
Mhm.
kind of, and now so then you start thinking like, oh, kind of what kind of world is my kid going to be left in,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
does that stress you out? Like, oh,
It does. It's very scary for me to find out, like, in 10 or 15 years,
yeah, like,
what
oh,
it will be like.
AI's coming and
What's
freaking.
it gonna be like? But I know for a fact that it's not gonna be easy,
No, it's definitely
or
not.
it's actually quite scary when I think about it.
Right? Yeah, yeah. I don't have kids, but I could imagine like if I had a little kid today, I'd be like, I wonder what kind of world they're gonna grow up in. It's interesting not having kids. I'll tell you, it is. And some people, like you said, can have kids, but I put myself in the category of the guy who chose not to have kids. I put myself in that category. I think that so I talk from that stance, that view, because if I could not have kids, I'd probably be like, oh, what a blessing kids are. Da, 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 da. But me, I've
They are.
resisted kids because I'm so uncertain about my own life in a lot of ways, and I'm so not
That's a
anxiety,
good choice. That's a
but
good choice.
yeah,
That's a good choice. And Rico, I think when you do have kids, you will realize that you will be a father one day at some point. You will see that that child will be everything to you. You'll jump over a bridge for your child. Like you'll do anything for your child. So,
I agree with that. I agree with that statement
yeah.
based on like me being a pretty lonely guy, and if I had something to pour love into, I'd probably pour all my love into, especially if it was my own child and they look like me a little
Mm.
bit, and then
Mm-hmm.
I could train them
You could
and
teach them stuff, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and at least, and I wouldn't smother them for whole life, but I would definitely probably be a great father, especially since me and the relationship with my father is a bit of a tragic one, and it's one of
Mm-hmm.
the greatest heartbreaks in my life, and I wish it was different a lot of the times, but
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
constantly, because I'm very happy with myself, but it's definitely the relationship with my father is not one of very close. Although he does love me and I love him very much, and he does, and we both have nothing but admiration for each other. It's we don't have the like a lot of time spent, a lot of core time, and but I know dads are busy and it's you gotta go, you gotta leave to make the bread. So I think that happens a lot. I don't think a lot of kids have their.
You would be the best father then because you've seen that, and I think I see that all the time. That will not reflect on you. You'd probably, I see how you are with your nieces. You love children, right? You love your nieces. You
Oh
did
yeah,
baskets for them for Easter. So it's not like, I think some people just don't want to have children. I respect people. I have a girlfriend who just didn't want kids her whole life. She just never wanted a kid. Nothing wrong with that. But
yeah.
I think you would be a great father once you have a child
Oh, I
because
100%
you,
agree. I think about it
especially
sometimes.
if it was a boy or a girl or whatever, you'd be able to teach that child. It'll be like, your way and how to survive and how to deal with stuff, and they're
I
going to
think
come to you with questions. It's the
I kind of
best
want to have a
job in the
child.
world.
I kind of want to have a
Yeah, it
child
really is.
soon,
Yeah.
but it's only because, but it's gonna sound like a shitty thing, and I'm only speculating here,
Yeah.
this is only partially, but I feel like as a single guy, or not a single guy, but as a man with no real responsibility apart from myself in this world,
Hmm.
I sometimes I feel like I could always just kill myself if I wanted to, and there'd be no harm, no foul, like or something like this, or I could go die in a war or something. Like my life is not really that important as far as like oh something's gonna die if I die or something like this, some kind of thought process like that. But then I'd like if I have a kid, I think that would make me want to live more. Like oh, I really gotta. I think it would make me push more. I think it would actually make me a better person. It would not like to. I know that sounds horrible. Like, well, don't have a kid to be a better person. That's like too much responsibility on the kid. But at the same time, a man with no responsibility could almost feel like there's nothing to live for, nothing to fight for,
Mm.
or even if there is many things to live and fight for, if it's not right in your face, it's like I feel like even though I know that the world is so fucking mysterious and has so much to live for and fight for, and there's so much to accomplish, as a like doesn't mean that it translates into how it goes out in execution. Like I know all these things, but in real life, I'm just like barely hanging on by a thread. I'm barely hanging on by a thread, like just trying to figure out like what the fuck is the point. And it's if yeah,
Well,
sometimes
first
I
of all, you have to meet the right partner. You're not going to make the kid by yourself, obviously. You're not going to come up here cucharacha. You've got to meet a woman,
it's a
and
cucaracha.
you've got to meet a companion that's on the same wavelength as you to have this child, because the child is going to need a mother and a father.
Yeah,
And
I think that's such a
whether
rarity.
or not, yeah, it is a rarity because the relationship might not last,
Oh man, we
And
can talk about how our parents one of these days, how our personal
yeah,
parents, like my dad and
but
your mom, my dad and your mom, that'd be so,
but
like not too deep,
that's
but what kind of people they were.
it is deep. It is deep. That's why I
It could
said
get
it's a
deep. It could get
conscious.
deep, but we don't have to get deep that deep. But let me ask you this: just then, what kind of parents were
Hmm.
your parents? If you were to just quickly throw a couple just broad
Great
phrases,
parents. Great parents.
they were
Very
great
good
people,
parents.
not
Hands
parents, but what kind of
on.
people were they? Like if I were to
They
say,
were
so you could,
great people. My
I would say
father
my
was
parents are weird. I would say my parents are two
no,
weird
my
people.
my parents were very smart.
Smart,
My father was genius level. He did aeronautical
wow,
engineering at Ryerson University. My mom
interesting.
was very smart. My brother was also a genius level. Like,
See, I
yeah,
don't
I
come
come
from
from
smart
good
people.
family.
I come from
Like,
decent, like really, like not
really
dumb
smart
people.
people.
I come
And
from
I'm
just
not a
average
genius.
people. I come from average.
I didn't get the genetic genius style of it.
Yeah, I
Maybe
come
a
from
third of it.
two average, weird, random people that just happen to meet and happen to have a kid together. And so that's how I feel about it. And you feel like you have two
Yeah, it doesn't
smart
matter
people.
though, Rico, it doesn't matter if they're still your parents. It
Yeah, I love
doesn't
both my
matter.
parents.
It doesn't matter because a lot of parents fuck up and they don't take care of their kids. You can't,
Yeah, yeah,
I
it's
don't
so
think
hard.
you should hold them accountability because that's how their life turned out. And a
You
lot
ever
of
heard the
kids
phrase?
lose out on that. They lose out on that and they just
Yeah,
don't talk to their
kids is
parents. Yeah.
kids is such a complicated thing, and I think that's one reason, as good, as great as they are, and as awesome, and how like you're saying, oh, you never love something more. Man, like as we dive deeper into the conversation, can you tell how actually it's not as black and white as you said? It's actually kind of starts getting like, well, as great as they were, as smart as they were, life still is it's not black and white, is it? I guess I think I think you've helped me wrap a bow on my initial
I think you're
philosophy.
overthinking. I think you're overthinking way too much.
I think that life is gray. I think that life is gray.
You
So if you're gonna,
overthink. You're overthinking the whole. Because look, Nick has a couple kids. I don't know if Nick's still there.
no,
You
Nick's
don't
there. He's listening.
overthink it. It just happened for him, and he took care of his kids, and he did his job, right, Nick? It's you don't over.
Yeah.
He didn't. He didn't overthink it when he was 17. He didn't have a panic attack, pass out in the hospital, and say, "Oh shit, my life is done."
Did you,
He
Nick B? You never
no, he
had a
did
panic
not.
attack?
I
No.
don't think so. No,
You never
no,
panicked? You're not a panicker, are you?
no,
No.
no.
See, I'm a bit of a panicker. I'm not like a giant panicker. I'm not like 100% panicker, but I think I'm like
You're
10%.
already panicking. Like we've just heard you last 10 minutes. You're panicking. You don't even have a child yet, so you're definitely not fucking ready. Because you need to be calm around kids. They feed off your emotions, right? So you just got to be calm and chill and be consciously ready to have those children. Because those children are going to be babies. They're going to look up to you. And especially in the early years, like Nick was saying, you got to be there for them. 100%.
So many children have bad parents. It's unbelievable. Or
Well,
not
you don't
bad,
want to
like
be a bad parent. A
not bad
bad parent.
people. Not let's separate the two though. Bad people, great people could be bad parents, and bad people could be great parents.
Yeah, you could be a shitty parent.
Right? You could be a super smart fucking person, but a shit panicky person and be a shit parent. Or you
Well,
could be a dumb.
you're giving me anxiety right now by talking. That's to tell you.
Yeah. Well, it did. Shit. Let's see how it feels inside my head. This shit's fucking wild, baby.
You just gave me a lot of anxiety. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be all right because let me type on it. I'm not the panicker. I'm not gonna trip, and I'm gonna keep forging forward. So that's no matter what. So don't get anxiety. But yeah, some people have kids late. What do you think it's like to have kids at 80 and all this, and know you ain't gonna be in their life? Like, I wonder how that feels. I wonder how that feels as a parent. I wish I could talk to some 80-year-old parents and just ask them. I wonder what it feels
I've
like.
never met an 80-year-old parent.
Oh man, like what's his name? Fucking. There's a couple. A lot of people who do it are celebrity because I think they have more money. Because Robert De Niro had a kid in his 80s. I know Clint Eastwood had a kid at maybe 80 something, like 85. So, like,
I'd have to look that up. I don't know. You're probably right, but
no, I'm right. Clint Eastwood had a kid at 85. I know that. And so it's like he knows he's not gonna be in those kids' life. I hear there's a comic I listen to, Theo Vaughn. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he talks about his dad had him when he was 80, and so or his dad was like 75 or something, and so those people don't really have a long term with their parents.
huh.
For real.
Yeah, no, it's an
Because I
issue.
know Clint Eastwood has a son anyways. I mean, hell, his son's what, 30 years old, is the other one? Or
Who?
one of them.
Oh yeah, yeah, Scott. You're talking about Scott? Scott Eastwood?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Scott.
So, I
Yes.
mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either.
I could not imagine having a kid even at 60, because that, I mean, if
It,
it happened, it happens, but
it would hurt you. Would it hurt you too much to know that there's a chance that you wouldn't see them as adults? Like you would hurt. It would be too painful. It's like wow, it would be too fucked up to have a kid late because you know they're not gonna have a parent late in life, and you're not gonna have a child or whatever.
well, no,
Oh
I think
God,
if I did have, I guess I would, raise it to the best of my abilities at the time. And
you'd be
I feel
dead.
awful. I feel awful if I had a kid in bad health at like late in life. I'd be like, dude, this kid, I'm leaving them with nothing. Like I'm no parent.
That is very
well,
important too. You got to leave the child with something. You can't leave them dead broke.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Got to take
So
care of kids. Kids are expensive.
yeah, I think a good age to have it. I agree with Bella. Is like in your 30s. But
Yeah,
isn't it? But the funny thing about kids though is when you're most ready to have kids, really young. The female body is like primed to have kids really young, and then the male.
that is the worst thing you could have ever said to me right now. Don't you ever say that to a woman. That is an insult.
I'm not saying that like me. I'm
That is
saying that's the
an
way it is.
insult.
I'm not saying that's my opinion. I'm not
No,
saying that's how I feel. I'm saying
no.
that's just the genetics. I'm saying we get older, we don't get younger. When you're younger, your body's more fertile and
No.
more adventurous.
Listen, women can do just as much in their 20s as they were in their 30s.
No, I'm not
And
saying
there's,
they can't at all, but I'm saying
yeah,
it's like a driving force when you're young. Like the hormones are
no.
there. The hormones are out of control. You never heard the expression like the young man hormones. Although some guys, like
For you guys maybe, but Janet
some people
Jackson
put
had
her.
her child at 51. She had a child at 51, Janet Jackson.
Yeah, nobody's having a kid after that though. Like guys are later because like we just said, Clint, you could get a girl pregnant till the day you die. A girl cannot get pregnant.
Exactly. You could have like 10 kids
But
and with 10
girls
different baby
definitely.
mamas.
I don't think you
But
can have a
we have
kid.
a clock.
I don't think a 7-year-old can have a kid. I don't think there's one 7-year-old that had a
I
baby.
don't think anybody would want a kid at 70.
No, but no,
But
like
for-
you could be a 100-year-old man and get a girl pregnant. The seeds work until you
No.
die. Women, but even that. But so don't get offended by me, Bella. But what I'm
It is
trying to say.
offensive. It is offensive because a woman told me that when I was having my kid in my 30s.
Well,
that
I'm not
she
talking
didn't
about
think
like
I.
you're looking at it different than I'm looking at it. What I'm looking at it is just the environment of being young. Like, let's say you're a college student, you got all these girls around you and all these like promiscuity around you, and like I think that and you're good looking. Like, okay, can you agree with me there that you're better looking? Like, generally speaking, people are more beautiful when they're younger. Generally speaking.
That is a stupid statement, Rico. That is dumb. I'm sorry.
What do you think, Nick B? Am I out of line?
Oh my God.
I think,
Hmm.
I don't think you're so much more prettier when you're young, but I
You're
think as you
youthful.
get older, you start respecting your looks and you
Mhm.
learn to, I guess, keep them up. I don't know if that's the right word, but you learn to,
Hey, keep yourself
you
in
know,
shape. Yeah.
Bella got
yeah.
offended as fuck, dude. Bella, you're so adorable, man. Bella, there's no one more adorable than you.
No, you can't
But I
say
think,
that. Can't say
I
that
think that
shit,
depends
man.
on, I
Oh
think
my
that
god.
depends on
Okay.
how you feel about yourself.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
If
See.
you
Okay. Maybe.
respect
But
yourself
how
and,
it looked like I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was out of line. But I think that I wonder what the rate. If I should have freaking I should be. I should put up some statistics here of the rate of pregnancy based on age. I wonder what percent
Why
of
don't
eight.
you get 5 women up on your panel? You'll see how that goes for you.
I'm
And
gonna
say
actually
that.
say exactly. They're gonna get so mad.
The ones who've been through 20 hours of labor like me, no way.
Bella,
Like, no.
no, you're definitely
Women,
you're 100% beautiful woman,
no.
Bella. I respect you, Bella. But at the same time, don't take it personal. What I'm talking about, we're talking about statistics and ideas, okay? We're not talking about you, okay? So don't get too mad. But
You're talking about all women, and
no,
that
no,
is
no.
what you're talking about all women.
I'm
If you're talking
generalizing.
about, if
I'm
you're,
grossly generalizing. I'm
exactly, so
grossly.
I'm shutting you down with that. You can't, as Nick said, women who take care of themselves at 30, 40, like 40, a woman is in their prime. And I'm talking about facts. A woman is more beautiful in their 40s their sexual energy is at the prime level when
Really?
they reach
Really?
40.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought like
okay,
I
so
thought I
listen
thought like
and
a
learn.
teenage girl.
So
I thought
listen
like a
and learn.
teenage girl was
So
freaking
you
like
gotta know,
sneaking out the
listen and
house, having
learn.
sex with everybody. 'Cause you
No,
don't, you
no.
know what I mean?
Everything's working at 40, man.
I always figured like the
Everything's
young
working
girls,
actually better at 40.
like when you're younger, it's usually things are no. I don't know. Because you know how girls are. They're real naughty.
Then
They're
you
less
don't
mature.
know about women. Then you don't know how a woman's
I'm not an
body
expert.
works.
No,
Exactement.
hey, listen, I've fucking been with older women my whole life. So I appreciate them. I'm not a hater. I love beautiful women. I've been having sex with 30-year-old women since I was 20s, like young 20s. I lost my virginity to a woman in her 30s when I was 18. Okay, I love
Jesus
women in their
Christ.
30s. I did. The woman, I was 18 years old, and the girl who took my virginity was in her mid 30s, a mother of 2.
It's like saying, Nick, you know what? You were better looking in your 20s, so
No,
like it would be like some guys are better looking in their 20s, but yes, as
or
a
younger
man
looking,
gets
or younger
older,
looking. He could be more. Yeah, some guys get more attractive.
no, not necessarily. Sean Connery was more handsome when he got older, and he was like 70 when he died. So that's not necessarily true. And
Yeah, no,
beauty,
there's definitely exceptions in all
that is a
categories. There is
very, that's a
exception in all.
very,
There's
but you're making a very, Rico, if you want to lay it on, you got to get pushback. You're laying it on in a stereotypical point of view. Beauty will fade. Your boobs are going to sag. You're going to get wrinkles.
Thank you for saying it.
So you're looking at a woman as a stereotypical piece of something, but men as well.
Right, but
there's
their
a
value
lot
is
of
obviously
men.
much more than that. If we talk about aesthetically, then I'm correct. But if we're talking about
you should have known I was going to be on the show to bring that up because you know what?
Yeah, I respect your take. You're right. I'm so glad I did because you're right. You just remind everyone that there's skin beauty and then there's whole beauty. And then there's the package. Like if you look at a picture versus if you actually interact with them in real life. A girl may look when she's younger better on a photography, but now if you get around her, she's just like, if there's no woman energy to her. She's not really that attractive. Now you get around, and now if you take a picture of some girl middle age, her picture, she looks like, okay, whatever. But then you get around her and she carries herself so attractive. You get your pull towards her just based on who she is, based on her intellectual prowess, her self-respect, her style, perhaps.
So you're
her
saying
ability
to
be a mother. It's not just based on her looks.
Oh, that's interesting. Some guys do like women or attracted women based on their ability to be a mother. I'm so out of practice, guys. Like I can be the first to admit,
Definitely.
I'm not the guy to
this
talk
is
about.
Not the show for you. Forget
I'm not
it.
the expert in relationships. I'm not the expert in parenting, and I'm not the expert in I'm the opposite.
Rico's like, forget it, man. I just got checked by Bella Forever, big time.
Bella, yeah, no. Sometimes I venture into topics where I'm not an expert, but because I'm curious, and so I do. Thank you for
Bella. Rico's like,
yeah, no, I'm trying to.
That's okay. I get you. Listen,
I'm not there.
When you have a kid, you gotta come back on and do the podcast when you have the baby, and then you come back and you have a different look on. You have a different look on it when that baby's in your arms.
Yes, I just have to.
You just have to find a woman first.
I gotta find a woman first, and I gotta comb out this.
How old are you, Rico? Now? How old are you getting?
I'm 32. I'm about to be 33.
Oh, you're still quite young, but now would be a good time to settle and have a couple babies.
Yeah, I just feel so much existential pressure sometimes. I feel it's like such a selfish thing to do to have a kid because it's like it's like I feel like I'd just be adding that pressure to them.
No, you shouldn't think of it that way. Just let it flow. But first you got to find the egg. You got to find a woman to procreate with, to have this child. It's not going to come out from the Immaculate Mary.
Yeah, so no, you're right. Finding any woman is easy, but finding the right woman is hard.
Really? Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Finding a woman these days is a freaking I don't know.
I can find any woman easy.
Where are you finding a woman? Where?
Just like if you want to settle, but just a woman I'm better than or something. Like you could settle, you could downgrade, but that's the thing. Nobody wants to downgrade.
It's like you could downgrade. Jesus.
You know what I mean? Like anybody can. You ever seen that? Like when you see two homeless people and they're just in love and they're both teethless and they're both just sitting in their sticky clothes, but they're holding hands on a park bench, and you're like, damn, I can't even get a text back.
Go
because
on Tinder. Go on Tinder or one of those things. Why don't you go on one of those
well, no,
things?
because yeah, if you're willing to settle for some whatever, people could find a mate. I feel, but it depends. Like some people get too many standards, or some people want like a girl who's like smells good, looks good.
Yeah,
If
but
you
we
really,
also want a man who is like in some kind of shape or form, like who's like
right,
it goes both ways.
yeah, no, exactly. I look and smell good, but I'm not the richest man. Like my downfalls as a man is I'm not that
I
tall, and I'm
look
not.
and smell good, but I am not the richest man.
Yeah, no,
But I
I'm not
look and
rich.
smell good. That is Rico's opening line for the dating website. I look and smell good, but I am not the rich man.
Right, no, and that shit right there, that shit does lower me down in the totem pole because as far as
Oh,
a girl wanting to have a guy that has like no girl wants to have a kid with a broke guy because it's like
Rico, shush, man. You're not broke. You're rich at heart.
no, I'm rich at heart, but at the same time, like,
Jeez. You
and
gotta
I
buy a
have,
ring. You're
yeah,
buying a
dude,
ring for her or what? You buying a ring?
dude. I mean, shit,
You're
I
buying
never
a
liked the idea
ring.
of buying a ring. You know that? Can I be honest with you? As a man, like if I had a relationship, now we're going to a bit of small talk here, but I just say I never liked the idea of buying a ring. I never liked the idea, and I think that's the idea. I think it was never because the man liked it. I think it was always for the woman. I don't think that's like a man thing. I think women invented the ring. What do you guys think in panel? Do you guys think men invented the ring or women invented the ring? If I were to put my money on it, if we were to go back to Adam and Eve, I say Eve wanted the ring. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Because I think it makes more sense to why not put that money. I'm that guy. I'm that frugal husband. I'm like, hey, instead of spending money on a wedding, $70,000 wedding, let's buy a house. I'm that kind of guy. Yeah. But something modest. But yeah, dude, some guys wanna put themselves broke. I envy the guys who just fucking bought the girl the damn 25-cent ring and just had a kid young like Nick B and said fuck it because they didn't think about it. They didn't overthink it. They just had kids. They just said fuck it. Yeah, yeah. I was almost there. I was almost there a couple times.
I
If she had
bought
a,
all my wife's rings.
really? Wow, Nick B's there. That tracks. That tracks, Nick B. I feel like you're that kind of guy. I mean, I definitely would buy a girl a ring. I've never been engaged though. 32 years, I've never bought a girl a ring yet. Isn't that fucked up, Nick B?
Well, maybe you ought to try it.
Dude, I
Not
gotta.
being mean, but maybe you ought to try it. Maybe
Oh man,
that would tell her a little bit more. What,
Nick B.
not what you would do, but more of a commitment.
I mean, I bought my girl stuff, but not an engagement ring. I bought her. I bought my girl things, like fucking. But yeah, you're right, man. Who knows? Maybe 30s.
Ah.
We'll get into. Did you just?
Sorry, I had to step away. I had to go do something. Sorry. I'm back.
Did you have to go take a poop?
No, I had to go get something in the fridge to drink.
Oh, you don't have to lie when you poop. You know that.
Now, how many minutes you have left? I think I might roll a show. I'm not sure what the fuck to talk about.
Yeah. Well. Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think about rings? We were talking about wedding rings.
Yeah, wedding rings. You gotta have money. You don't have to buy a very expensive ring. You can actually go to the Chinese mall and you get 2 rings for about maybe $600, $700. A pair of
Damn,
rings, one for you and one for her. And it's they're not bad looking. And then you can always upgrade later. And there you go. There's the fucking rings. One for you, one for him. One for the boy, one for the girl. They're not diamonds, obviously, but you can get good deals if you have the Chinese, what do you call it? The malls. They would call it Pacific Mall here. And you get a engagement ring, or just fuck it. Just get the wedding ring and go to the Dominican Republic when you get married, Rico. Don't do no big lavish wedding. Just go on a beach. Do something simple. You don't have to have a big wedding.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you don't even have to have a wedding.
I'm gonna do
You
that.
don't have to have a wedding.
I'm gonna do that. No, I'm gonna do a little something. I'll do a little something.
Yeah.
A park wedding. I like that. Like it's because my conscience could be happy with that. What I wouldn't want to do is a court wedding. I wouldn't want to do that. I feel like that's too.
Why?
What about City Hall? City Hall wedding.
Okay, quick, maybe I wouldn't. If I had to, I would. I feel like that's the cheapest route, just real quick, so it's official. I love you, baby. I'm yours forever. It's still romantic. Yeah. I've actually translated a in-court wedding where I was the translator. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this about me. So I've actually wedded people. I've actually married people because I translated their wedding to the judge, and the judge translated.
Like Spanish?
Yep.
Spanish.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
It was a random time. One time I'm sitting there minding my own business in my friend's apartment, and his downstairs neighbors were two Mexican people, a Mexican couple, and it's the most random. And they came knocking at the door, random as heck, just playing video games one day, and all of a sudden we get a knock on the door, and they're like, "Can you come
Right.
translate our wedding at the court right now?" Because they didn't have anybody to do it. And I was like, fuck, my Spanish is not that great, but I was like, fuck, if the judge doesn't know Spanish, I guess I could just fake it. And so I pretty much faked it. I pretty much faked it because I didn't know how to translate it perfectly. So I was just making shit up. I was just doing my own little dialogue in Spanish just so it would sound good. And so I went down to the courthouse with them and I translated their wedding for them. It was pretty crazy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude, a random ass time. Yeah, that shit was funny.
Oh wow, look at this patio. I wish I had a big patio to do a barbecue today. I'm just looking on TV.
Wow. Okay, so but
Yeah.
the thing we were talking about that got me saying that is that we were talking about the wedding ring, and then the court wedding versus that. I think a court wedding is nice, and I think that you have to. Do you have to go to court to sign the papers? No matter what, you have to sign the
Oh,
marriage.
it's called City Hall, Rico. It's not a court. You're not in court.
Oh, okay.
It's just you can like
you have to get a marriage certificate.
Yeah.
A wedding is
It's
more a
like-
ceremony.
And you can take pictures and shit down there. Like
I like the idea of
downtown.
a small ceremony.
Take pictures. You go for dinner with your family. Like some people, I prefer. Like some people like it like that. Simple.
Oh man, I
Just
think
sign off.
it just reminds me of class. Like talk about class, like middle class, low class. That's another topic that's very interesting. Is class.
You're overthinking again. It has nothing to do with class.
Nothing. I think it has a little bit.
No, it's a choice. Some people don't want a big wedding. They want to do City Hall. You could do it three ways. You can go just sign documents in office, close the door, nobody even has to know you're married the girl, and take off and go to frickin' like to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And like have a celebration or celebrate with your intimate family. Secondly, you can have it where you take pictures, have a photographer down there and sign papers.
You know what I think that is? I think that's
You
people
can
who
do it
have
like
big
that.
families. I think, based on my experience, I think people who have those big photographer weddings, that's a family. Like if you have a giant family,
No, it's your wedding with this person. You can have a photographer. These are your memories. You can have a photographer. They don't charge much. They don't
I think
charge
like if you have to take two people, and I'm just speculating here, but if you just take two people who don't have families, like if you take a girl and a guy and they happen to both be
Well, you can't get married without a family. Like you have to have somebody on your side and somebody on her side to sign the marriage certificate. So you have to have two witnesses, right? So you can't just go down with the girl to the city hall and get married.
Dude, what happens to
You
those
have to have
girls
a
that
witness.
or what about them orphan
So,
girls?
if
What
you
about
don't
them
have
orphan
a
girls?
If you don't have a witness, the person who's marrying you can provide a witness, but you have to request. Like if you don't have family in the city, then you can request somebody to witness your marriage. But you must have a friend, like your sister, your best man, like whatever. You
Right,
take them
yeah.
down
You ever
too.
seen that movie Kill Bill? Queen Bella Forever? Have you ever seen? I don't know. I keep saying Queen in front of your name. I should just say Bella Forever. Bella
Jesus,
Forever?
Nick. He needs like a whole 101 on how to get married. Like you know nothing. Like there's very simple ways, and then you can do it the church way.
What do you know?
What
do you know, Bella Forever? Don't act like you're the expert in getting married. How many times have you been married? Once, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Exactly. So who makes you queen? We should be talking
engaged.
to Nick B.
I've been engaged twice. I've been engaged twice before.
Wow. So you are quite the catch, ain't you?
Yeah, I've been engaged twice.
Damn, you're the kind of girl that when guys get around you, that guys just want to marry you. There's a lot of girls like that. Dude, there's some girls like that when you're just around them and you're like, I want to marry this bitch.
Yeah, I did have a life before. Like, yeah, I got 2 engagements and then, 2 guys. It didn't work out.
Bella, not to make it about this, but you know when I was 22, I almost had a kid. I had a girl pregnant when I was 22
What
years
happened?
old. And she was 33. She was 30 something.
And what happened to baby?
So we went to doctor's appointments and everything, and I was a little stressed out about it, but I would take responsibility. Yes, this girl was legit pregnant, and then she ended up miscarrying. And
You never told us that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He takes to the end of the show, right, Nick, to tell us this part. Wow.
Yeah, and it was kind of fucked up because I was not ready, and I did not like this girl that I was having a kid with. It was not the girl I wanted to be with, and so I expressed that to her.
So you knocked her up. You knocked her up.
I knocked her up. And I told her, I was like, but I like you said, I'm not gonna turn away on my kid. So I never left her side, but I was being very forward with her, very honest with her, because that's how you have to be when you're in a relationship. I'm brutally honest. I'll tell you everything I don't like, or all my concerns. I lay everything out because you have to. I feel like it's responsible when you're dating a relationship. You have to lay it all out, or else you're holding back, and you're not, or you have to, or I don't know. I think I was being selfish and being a little bit mentally abusive, but back then I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was being
Jesus, Rico.
honest. I was like, come
Write
on,
a
bitch.
book.
I
I
know.
have to go because Portugal is playing Turkey in 15 minutes for Euro Cup, and I need to
Wow.
watch it.
Wow, you want to leave my
But
show?
I gotta go. It's
All
starting,
right.
and
Hey,
Ronaldo's
Bella,
playing. Yeah.
thank you for giving me such a great show. I enjoyed it.
I hope it publishes.
I think it will.
Tell me how many downloads you got.
I will publish it because we talked about a bunch of random topics. And Nick B, I know you're working, so thank you
Yep.
for joining. Thank you for joining
Yep.
today's episode. It was
Yeah,
fun to
live in
just
the
hash it
light,
out.
people. Some ending words. Live in the light. Be kind to people. And stop the whitewash on here and just chill.
For anybody who doesn't know
Just
who I
like
am, once again,
chill.
I'm
Ah,
Rico Rocks,
yeah.
your main host of Social Symbolism. And today we talked about life, bloodlines, existential pressure. We covered the gamut. And I could be found on Podbean, where I do my live shows, and my podcast is available on all platforms. Social Symbolism. Thank you for listening. Shout out to the people in chat. Shout out to everybody. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Rico.
Yeah.